What's something that sounds like a conspiracy theory but is actually true? 1. Nestle's baby formula scandal. Nestle aggressively marketed baby formula to mothers in developing countries by giving free samples to hospitals and buying up billboards. The mothers would use them instead of natural milk and eventually stop producing natural milk. Then they'd need to buy formula to continue feeding their babies. Formula needed to be mixed with water, but because they often didn't have clean water, they put their babies at risk by mixing the formula with unclean water. Also, literacy rates were lower in a lot of those places, so the mothers didn't know how to clean the bottles and couldn't read the instructions on the packaging. Those that did often didn't have the means to carry them out. A lot of them, being poor, also resorted to watering down the formula to try and make it last longer, but then it wouldn't have enough nutrients for the baby. Nestle downplayed all of this and said it wasn't their responsibility, that people here didn't really have access to clean water and that they were just giving people the freedom of choice. 2. Many prisons are private, for-profit companies. They get paid by the head and also employ the prisoners for pennies per hour to do work like telemarketing. You've probably talked to a prisoner on the phone without realizing. Corporations that run private prisons spend millions each year lobbying to keep offenses like minor possession a felony. 3. That the US government actually had a paranormal unit. That movie, The Men Who Stare at Goats, it was based on a true story. The US military was actively trying to see if they could find people with skills like stopping the heart of a goat, or dowsing, or psychic spying. 4. Your iPhone is designed to start getting worse as soon as the new models come out. I remember this being a big deal like 7 or 8 years ago. Someone can fact check me as I'm hazy on the details, but I believe it's related to the battery. Every year, the same week that the new iPhone comes out, the latest iOS becomes available for download. The new iOS is not optimized for your current device's battery, and as such the phone compromises performance in order to maintain a similar battery life. Coupled with the normal wear and tear on the battery, your phone will start lagging just so the battery can last a little longer. 5. There are entire caves of cheese owned and operated by the US government. I wish I was joking. 6. Look up a phone called Enam. They basically sold pre-hacked phones to crime organizations. 7. The food pyramid was known to be wrong and detrimental to health, but there was money to be made selling grain-based products. 8. The system doesn't let you accumulate assets when on welfare because they want you easily controlled and always poor. For people who don't know, the welfare department only allows you $2,000 in countable assets. Countable assets are things like cash, bank accounts, retirement funds, a second car in a household, or potentially other items. It really limits and restricts you in trying to improve your life. Just look up the term benefits cliff for more info. 9. Amelia Earhart landed on an uninhabited Pacific island and passed as a castaway, making distress calls for days that were initially acted upon, then later disavowed by the Navy as hoaxes after their botched search failed to find the plane. 3 years later, bones were found by the British military on the island next to parts of a woman's shoe. The bones were misidentified as male by an unqualified examiner and then lost. Measurements of the bones were later unearthed from the British records, and when run through modern forensics were proven to be female. 10. Aliens exist.